Hi and welcome back to the workshop. We've done 2 tests so far that have helped us understand what is going on in this engine. Both of these cylinders and valves seem to be in really good shape. The rings are looking good, the walls are looking good, but we're going to do one more test to help clarify that our head gasket and also our cylinder walls are in good shape. The other side benefit of this particular test, which is a coolant test, is that we're going to be able to see if there are any leaks and what is happening in our oil cooler with the seals that are in there. So how does a coolant system pressure test actually work? Well, the first thing to understand about your cooling system is that it works under pressure. And so at any given point while you're driving, the system is pressurized. What this really means is that what we're looking for when we're looking at a pressure test is we're trying to determine whether or not that pressure is actually holding in all the right places and doing what it needs to do. In a 944, we don't have a radiator with a cap on. That's where one might normally administer this kind of test. So we're going to be coming here to the tank, and this particular cap is going to be coming off. We're going to be putting an adapter in its place, and then we're going to be using this device. We're going to pump about 1 or so bars of pressure into the system, and then we're going to take a look around. What's really important to understand about this cap is that it is actually a pressure release valve. So it's a very important piece of kit. If this doesn't function, the system can overheat and all sorts of trouble is going to be coming your way. I'd advise taking this to a radiator specialist to get tested. I would advise putting pressure into the system quite slowly. The reason for this is because, well, in this 944, I don't know when last any of these hoses were replaced, and so it could be a concern that we have to deal with. Okay, that is half a bar. Let's take a quick look around the bay. Okay, oh wow, there's a ton of stuff coming up here. Yeah, and I can see that it's actually a leak right under there. I'm at about minimum. I don't want to lose any more. So let's tighten this up and see if that does the trick. I think we've done it. Let's talk through where the leak was very quickly. Just down here on the water pump itself, the radiator hose comes and fits, and it clearly wasn't fitting correctly, and so we now have a solid connection. Let's consider quickly our pressure that we had initially put in. It's gone down by about 20%, so we had put in about half a bar, and I mean technically we're supposed to put in a full bar, so half a bar, and we're sitting at 80% of that. So clearly there was a leak, and we saw that leak. So let's see if this now holds the rest of what we need it to hold. Oh crap, we've got another leak. Okay, so here's the situation. We had a crazy leak down at the water pump. The hose that was fitting there wasn't fitting well. But once we tightened it, it almost stopped immediately. So we had that leak. It's now sorted out. There is also another leak, but it's a much smaller leak where the top hose here meets the top of the radiator. I'm not overly concerned about it because of just how small it is. The other reason I don't want to try and fix it right now is because it's quite inaccessible. It's under a whole bunch of other hoses and bits and pieces that we're going to be taking out when we replace the water pump, and so we'll just then give it a little bit of a squeeze then, and that should sort out that leak. The problem with having a leak in the system like this is that now I'm very reluctant to put the full 1 bar of pressure into this engine that is necessary in order to understand what's going on with the head gasket. Fortunately, what we have been doing, of course, are the other tests, the leak down and the compression test, and they seem to indicate that it's in really good shape. So I'm actually not so concerned. What we would have done if we were able to put that one bar into the system is set the tester down to one side and wait and watch to see if the dial moved. If there were no leaks here, but there was a leak inside, in other words, the dial was moving and we were losing pressure, that would then indicate something was going on with the head gasket. In the case of this engine, I'm not concerned. All right, there's 2 more tests that we're going to do. I'll see you in the next video.